Now let's. mm, Yesterday we talked about the concept of time entry template. I asked you to do some of the things with respect to the time entry templates and time track. Okay, which was done on a smoother way. And, any difficulty you face by the time you were configuring the time entry template and about the calculation tag?
No, it was quite straightforward.
What is a calculation tag as per the Workday standpoint of view, and what do you understand from the calculation tag?
So basically, calculation tag is pretty much like the compensation element in the compensation itself. It is pretty much like helps to integrate to payroll and also to absence module and all those. It is basically used for mapping, time tracking, to payroll, time tracking to absence, and also to finance.
Great. Okay. Uh, what are the necessary steps that we need to keep in mind whenever we are enabling anything regarding entry of time, run calculation, clear the time card? What are the necessary steps that we need to uh, take care?
Definitely we need to set, like you mean asking from the beginning, right? Like the period schedule, the work schedule.
No, not from the beginning, from yesterday's standpoint of view, the things that
Okay.
we talked yesterday.
So it's very important that we set up the time entry code, and also like if there are a lot of time entry available, then we can group them. And the calculation tag, as we talked about, it is the core, and which kind of translate from one module to the other module. And then uh, and also we can configure like the in and out, or the meals and all those can be configured within the time entry code. And also what else?
No, I'm not asking the overall thing. I'm just asking if you want to run calculations, if you want to enter time by type, enter time by week, what are the specific things that we need to take care?
What do you mean by specific things to take care, like within that time entry?
So the first thing that you need to take care to add those items under the time entry template calendar, you need to enable them.
Right.
And after that, you need to also check the business process policies. If they
Okay.
are also given the security, then they would be able to access those functionalities such as run calculation, clear the time chart, quick add, enter review time by type, review time by a week. Those those extra functionality which we see under the time entry card, as we saw yesterday. All right. So now let's talk about how they interact with your payroll. So if I take any earning, so if any of the time calculation tag is mapped over here, those values would be taken care, and those value would be working under the related calculation, and then the payroll will go. Okay, under the time calculation tag, time block under the time calculation tag, you have a liberty to add the calculation tags. All right, for the earning standpoint of view, when time tracking interacts with Workday payroll. Okay, this is the basic concept. You need to add the calculation tag over here. You just need to give the calculation tags to the payroll consultant, and rest calculation would be handled by the payroll consultant. You need not to worry. You just need to get map your tags over here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, when we talk about the payroll learning, so we talked about Workday payroll learning. Now we will talk about external payroll learning. So the task is over here is maintain external payroll. All right. So here you would be able to map your tags. First, you need to check the pay groups.
Okay.
Let's take one pay group over here. All right. And then once you are done, once you use the earning code, then you would be able to add the calculation tags, time calculation tags over here. Okay, when we are integrating the values to third-party systems, for example, Chronos, SAP, or you can say about ADP, those external payroll companies. You just need to add the time calculation tax corresponding to the earnings that has been made, corresponding to the earnings. Okay, so this is the CCTPP integrations. Okay, CCTPP, core connected third party payroll. Okay, so the
Sachin, your voice is breaking.
is it now good? Am I audible now?
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay, all right. So yeah, the whenever you're using external payroll mapping, okay, external payroll mapping, you just need to. So the generally this thing is done by a integration guy who is certified in CCTPP. Okay, but sometimes time tracking administrator also do time tracking administrator does this kind of work by uh, using talking with the ADP folks or any other third party payroll folks, mapping their payroll code, payroll type, all the important components, and sharing their time calculation tags corresponding to the earnings or deduction whatsoever. All right. And rest, XSLT and XML would be taken care by the integration folk who is CCTPP certified. Okay.
So this one is if we have a third party payroll, but what about, like you mentioned something about Chronos? I was not able to hear you properly. So if we use the third
No,
party,
no. So third party payroll companies would do under this kind of thing. All right. Third party payroll would be taking care from the this maintain payroll earnings. Chronos is for time part. So for that there is an integration known as the first the functional area should be enabled time calculation hub, and the integration would be inbound time integrations. All right. Let's see if they have or not. Those are known as batch integration. So, for example, time clock load. This is a batch integration. Okay, you can easily find these type of integrations in your system. So this is put clock event, which means you are adding those clock events from the external systems such as Chronos and getting them integrate with your workday systems. External hours are getting integrated with your with your own workday through this transformation, which is clock events. This service is used for importing. This is an inbound integration. All right, whenever you are using Chronos or these kind of systems who are time tracking ERP systems, where you want your the times to be integrated to Workday automatically, so then we use this kind of system. All right. All right. There is some certain CRM tools also. For example, Zoho, and you can take an example of Salesforce. All right. For example, you are working on a ticket. Okay, working on a ticket, and you want to bill hours. You put those hours into that CRM systems, and then after a scheduling integration, they would they those hours would integrate with your workday system through this web service put time clock events. All right, then also this integration, inbound integration, would work. Anything which is coming from an external system, those are inbound systems, and anything which is going from our system to the external system, that is known as outbound system. All right. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So yesterday we left our conversation with one of the area which is through the time entry template. All right. So in order to identify your time entry template, you just need to. There are few things Workday gives. One thing is if you want to see all the time entry templates, so you just need to add all time entry template. All right. Else, if you want to view your time entry template, then view time entry template, create time entry template, edit time entry template. These are the general tasks. Okay, in a single report, if you want to see how many time entry templates are there, so this is the task for the in order to identify all time entry templates. Okay, now let's talk about your time entry template, which we worked yesterday. RP project time entry template. Okay. So yesterday we talked about the first section, which is in and out, where you
Yeah.
see in out type of order in order to use it. If you are in and out worker and have a time entry code for in and out entryman. Okay. Now, moving forward, I just forgot to ask you if you want to use work tags, okay, while entering the time. What are the necessary steps that you need to keep in your mind?
Well, we need to add in both the places. Like one, in the time entry code, there is a place where we can add the work tag, and also we need to make sure we are adding it in the time entry template as well.
All right. If you want to make that field a mandatory field, how would you do it?
So in here, like under the work tag, I believe it's under the calendar, maybe
No, it is under the time entry code.
time entry. Okay, so
What you will do if you want to make it mandatory,
mhm.
you just need to make it required,
Quiet.
which
Okay,
means
yeah.
this value would be mandatory. If you want to have automatically whenever a worker is using that time entry code, the cost center should pop up. Then you go with default value and you add your value. Okay, great. Okay, so yesterday we talked about calendar, we talked about business process also, uh, and now let's talk about we talked about totals also. Yesterday we covered totals also. All right, what are the labels that we see on the right tab? What are the daily totals? On the top of every day we see the daily total. If you don't configure these things over here, it hardly matters. If you don't include calculation tags also, what will happen, whatever amount of hours you are entering, whether it is a worked hour or a non-worked hour, all those things would be shown on the day on the daily total. Daily totals means on the time entry calendar's upper value total. Okay. Now let's talk about the other part, time shift. So what do you understand by the word time shift?
So if the employees are working in shift,
Correct.
okay.
Then what? So if a worker is working on a shift, and the shift, the calculation varies a lot. For example, their day breakup, day one, day two, day three, day four. For example, if I started my day at day one at 10 p.m. and on Monday at 10 p.m. and if I started my work at 10 p.m. on day one and ended at on the day two, so my day is getting changed, isn't it?
Mhm.
In order to consider that as a single shift, then Workday also in background runs calculation. Okay, but the system is always confused which to consider as day one and which to consider day two. Then, in, uh, then we create and we configure those things under time entry for the background calculations. Okay, this is highly useful, and we make sure that all the configuration which are done are aligned to proper shifts and proper day. Okay, it is possible. For example, I started my day at 10 p.m. and ended this on day two at 4 a.m. And after that, I started the other shift at uh, 4 p.m. and ended at 12 a.m. It is possible. All right. Generally, manufacturing workers does. This is for the in and out manufacturing workers. Okay. So to configure those things, we use this time shift area. All right. The first thing that you need to do, you need to click over the timesheet option. What you need to have, workday delivered, or you need to have a custom delivered. All right. So if you choose the workday delivered, so there are workday functionality given over automatically. Default setting would come up and pop up on the round of the time shift, which would be maximum duration for out. If you there is no such limit under that. You can be maximum whatever you want to be out. Maximum duration for meal, the maximum they have given is 24 hours. उससे ज़्यादा तो कोई ले भी नहीं सकता. After that, maximum duration for a break would be 24 hours. उससे ज़्यादा कोई ले नहीं सकता. But now, in order to make it more more fragile and more dynamic, you can create those conditions like the maximum out time would be 15, oh sorry, 12 hours. All right, the maximum mean time will be 1, not more than that. Then it would create problems at the end of the day. Now, the group time blocks for shift base is always what this is means. It will always look on the look on the calculations. Always look on the calculation based on the way you have created. If you would make it split by day breaker, which would be after 12 p.m., the calculation would be running on the day 2 basis. Before 12 p.m., it would be running on the day 1 basis. All right, this is something split by day broker works. Beginning of the shift means it will always look at the beginning of the shift. Like if you started by 10 p.m., those calculation would consider 10 p.m. As the first shift. All right, it is confusion. 10, it's the first block of the time day. It will always look at the first block of the time day, and based on that, the calculation would work. If you would create by the end of the shift, it would see the last time entry for the day. Like if you for example, if I started my job at 10 p.m. and ended it at 4 p.m., it will consider the last block, like 4 p.m. would be the end, and based on that, the calculation would perform. Okay, what is the how it is significant? I'll give you one good example. All right. Majority of the shift, where the weightage part, when the weightage is more, where the block quantity is more, based on that, the calculation would work. All right. These are the four options. Now understand the concept. Now let's understand the concept of how it is important to configure these important factors at that time. All right. Let's take one example. Our worker Amit Patel.
Okay.
Amit Shah. Amit Shah or Amit Patel. This is highly important whenever you are making the calculation for in and out worker, and those are under the shift based time zone. Okay, so what you need to do, just first understand what is the shift categories. Now let's take our time entry code in and out time. Okay. Hmm. This is the first block. Okay, we started the first at 10 a.m. and we ended it up at 3 p.m. Okay.
Mhm.
After that, we started with another shift. Okay. Now see. So now we have worked under two shifts. Okay. If we if if we make the majority first we'll make on the beginning of the shift. Okay. So if we see the beginning of the shift, what will happen when the system when the system pointers comes into the picture and see if there is a overtime or a double time, it will always see the first day one first block, and based on that, the overtime and double time would be considered. What it will do, it will see the first day as 5 hours, and also this blocks initial period of time, like 6 hour, like 10 to 4, so 2 hours it will see. All right, and based on that, the background calculation would work. All right, ideally this block should be calculated under this day, because this is the second day for him. Okay, this is the second day for him. He worked under the second shift. But if we make it as the 10 p.m., it will always see the first day as 5 hours, and also this block if we make it as the beginning of the shift, the pointer will always look at the first block of the of that particular day. Okay, first block of the particular day. Now, if we do it like majority of the shift, what it will do, it will see the weightage quantity of that particular day. Here the quantity is 4 hours. All right, you see 4 hours is the quantity for this day,
Okay.
130. Now here the quantity is 7 hours. So which is the majority part?
7 hours.
7 hours. You will get confused because I'm talking about a lot of time the calculations. When we go to the time calculation, you will understand the concept what they are all about. It will see those background calculation would work based on the majority of the shift which is under here. Now, uh, if we talk about end of the shift, now the system will always look at the end point. For for now, the end shift is this 3 p.m. for this because the block is getting over, and after that the second shift is starting off. Then the system would look under the last point of that block, last point, which is the 4 a.m. Then the system would consider this as a separate shift and this as a separate shift, and the calculation would work under regarding the configuration. So end of the shift will always look at the end point. End point means the last time out time always. Here here you will see the endpoint would be 4 a.m. and this whole block from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. would be always considered as a separate shift, and the calculation would work accordingly. Now we talked about three more part, end of the shift and split by daybreaker. What it is all about? Split by daybreaker would consider this as a single shift, this as a single shift. Okay, this whole as a single shift, and the rest would be considered as another shift because it is actually uh, after 12 a.m., so which is the next day, so that would be considered as the next day calculation, and this would be considered as different day calculation. How it impacts, for example, if you are a nurse in an organization and you are working, you currently in corona period, you are working tirelessly already, you are working in a shift 1 a.m. to 2 p.m., 1 a.m. to 4 a.m., and after that again you are working from the same day 1 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, 1 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then your overtime and double time would affect. Okay,
Right.
always the system will see the blocks, majority of blocks over here, and it will always calculate overtimes for you. All right, if you haven't determined the time blocks grouping on what basis, all right, ideally it shouldn't be. All right, what will happen, the system will see, again you worked over here.
Then this way is not the good method, right, to calculate the overtime, the split by daybreaker, because then it's
Yeah,
calculated the entire
it
day
depends. It
as
depends. It depends. If your organization is not night shift based or day shift based, then it depends. You can have it split way. All right. It depends from the customer to customer requirement how they are looking at. Okay. Now let's see. Ideally, what will happen from here once I have entered the hours over here? So here there is a block. All right. If I haven't added my split breakers like that, what will happen, this day there are a lot of hours have been entered, then the system will take these hours into consideration on day 13, and it will create the overtime for that. Ideally it shouldn't be, it is another day's hours. All right, not this day's hours, then the system will get confused and it will take it as the overtime hours for these 2 hours which are been entered. Okay, so that is the concept over here. Generally, we do it by end of the shift whenever we are working for night shift worker. Then the system will see time, the end shift time, and after that, if there is a gap, then the another shift would be taken care as day two. Okay,
right.
all
Okay.
right, okay, all right. So we talked about this thing first. Okay, time shift projects. Now it comes under projects. Now we are interacting time tracking with your payroll part. Sorry, I'm So sorry. We are interacting time tracking with your finance.
Mhm.
In order to use finance, if this is not enabled, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. This is the root for here. And after that, required project role for time entry, which means you should be under the resource plan. All right. When we talk about finance, you should be listed in this project. We should be in the dynamic pool. All right. This is better. This is something that can be betterly understand. You can understand from a financial consultant because they configured that resource plan, project plans. All right. Let's see if they have any projects or not.
So if we don't enable the time entry by project, then it should go under operating cost, right?
It will always go to the operating cost if your cost centers are mentioned. All right, if you don't enable it, then it will not interact with the
Okay.
finance projects. Now let's take any project over here. From now onwards we will be getting some pace and we will be looking up getting a lot of things would get into confusion sections. All right, so whenever you feel any confusion regarding any of the things, please stop me at that point of time so that we can work accordingly. All right.
So where did you go to create this project actual hours?
Like what I don't understand.
Just okay. So you just went under project actual hours monthly and created this. Okay.
Hmm. Finding the project. All right. You should be now. Whenever the a financial consultant configure any project, they actually add resources over.
Mhm.
All right, the resources with the specific roles. What is the project role? Okay, that is most important part. This is the main part I was talking about. Now let's talk about through our time entry template. Let's see it through our time entry template. What are the necessary things that needs to be added? Now let's look. If first step, if you're using Workday Finance, you're looking for Workday Finance. First, you open the door, enable project. Required project role. If the worker is not having a project role, then they won't be working for the time entry time. Okay, they won't be able to enter the time for the project. Make it enable. Display phase and tasks. All right. In projects, there are certain phases and certain tasks involved. You need to enable that also in order to use it. For example, resource plan, project plan. Okay,
Okay.
you see the project plan. There are certain tasks over here. All right, they would be able to enter the time over. So the estimated hours are also there, and the actual hours are also been configured. These things are always configured by the financial consultant. They do the project time entries configuration, the project planning they do. All right, so the billings work accordingly. All right, yes, and and your project manager, actually program manager or a project manager gives the estimated hours, how many hours the person should be assigned for that particular one. All right. So what the first thing that you need to do, you need to enable this in order to use which if you're first, you will click on the project and then you would go to the which phase of the project you are working, what activities you need to do on that project. This would come if you enable this. Create independent events. All right. If you have added two, three projects in your time entry. For example, you worked on project A, then after that project B, then after project 3. Those should be considered into as three different projects and three different events. Their time entry approval and their time entry submission would be considered as a different event because they are three different entities. Rather than going for approval for one manager or cost center manager, it would be going for three different cost center managers. All right. If you enable this checkbox, display project customer for entry time by type. All right. If you want to if you want to display the customer for which the project is being used, then you need to enable that. Display project customer. If the customer is looking for the project, how many hours the person has used for the Workday ecosystem, then you need to enable that. If you want to display who is the project owner here, Carol Abbott, then you need to enable
Okay.
this. For example, now, let's see for Amit, what are the things that is done. All right.
Okay.
They are straightforward things over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Main thing, the concept would come under the calculation part. These are very straightforward things. It's really nice. Finally, as of now, Amit is in Vice Financial. All right. He enters the hour in Vice Financials. He is not able to see anything. He just said, see, do not bill, cost center, division, and comment. Do not bill means these are internal hours. All right. Now let's see his time entry template. What is been done under his time entry template.
Sure.
When it comes under the project now, time tracking administrator shouldn't take so much of headache regarding those what hours are getting pulled or how the hours are getting modified. Most of the time, the financial consultant would be consulting with the time tracking administrator, and they work in a coordination. They work with support of each other, and they configure those things. All right.
Okay.
So my favorite task, whatever you want to see the chart sheet of this worker, then you would go to view workers time
Eligible.
eligibility. All right. This is the best task for you, for any time tracking person. They use this task day in day out for any sort of break fix or any new calculations to see. Now, I'm late, sorry.
Yeah, you use project time.
All right. He has a template like project time. Now let's edit it. Now, what are the things has been display phase and tasks? It has been enabled, but since it is not showing, why it is not showing? Let's see.
So because of his security?
Nah,
Oh, okay.
because he must not have any specific role on that project, or he must have exhausted the task estimated hours or hours removed. This is the reason things are not getting shown in the project manual. Okay, this is the reason.
Yeah, looks like he's not one of the resource, right?
He has exhausted the hours. see the project role is given as consultant. He is the consultant in that project. All right. Well, how it is enabled? The moment I enable
Sure.
this project role, yes. All right. He is able to see the project role over here and do this thing. Cost center, these gets defaulted generally by mapping them with the entry code or the time entry cost allocations over here. But since this project doesn't have, they didn't map it, so it is not coming up over here. All right, that is the
Okay.
most important first. Okay, this is project time entry basic structure. Okay, basic structure we talked about. Moving forward, one second. Moving forward, so today I'm going to give you a best solution for whenever you're implementing a time plan. This is a Bhagavad Gita for that. But whenever you get stuck while working on the break fix, and whenever you are initially modifying, enhancing, or creating a time tracking for us from zero, or you're enabling time tracking for a certain folks, I'm going to give you a Ramban for that. How to identify the breakpoints. Okay, so we
Okay.
covered project. Now location settings. So this is a new feature that came with the Workday geofence for mobile entry. If you're using a Workday mobile and if you are entering time nearby, you need to mention the latitude and longitude section. All right. For example, map the locations of the company. All right. For which folks this is being entered. This time entry template is being used. For example, the workers in Illinois would be using. So you just map the location over here. Like for example, here in we see Florida. We would map the latitude and longitude. And if the workers are nearby those areas, nearby means under that specific radius, they would be, and if they are using Workday mobile and entering the time, then only their time is valid. Else, the time is not valid. All right.
Oh, okay.
This is the feature that comes into the picture. Okay, this is basically used in United States, not in India. I haven't seen in India because of the GPS and these rules,
But in
right?
Canada,
But yeah,
they do it?
yeah, they can use it. They can use it. Uh, this has been used by banks. A lot of time banking customer do use it. State Street is one of the banks that they have configured this thing. State
Okay.
Street, Wells Fargo, they have done it.
Yeah, yeah.
And after that, eligibility. Who will be using this? Okay, that is known as eligibility. Okay, initially, Amit Patel was using
Dallas.
Amit, yeah, Dallas one. You just need
Yeah.
to add the eligibility rule. Who is eligible for this time entry template? I'm just making a blunder over here. I'm just making a blunder in order to understand, give you another step. What is validation group? What do you understand by the name validation?
So basically, validation is like if somebody enters time or anything wrongly, then it kind of validate to see, okay, so if say for example in a day they can only enter 8, and if they enter like 9, then it's going to give them an error. That's the validation I understand
Correct.
from finance.
Correct. Purposely creating errors. All right. Or
Yeah.
creating errors. All right. Creating a lot of errors and grouping them together for certain folks. The way I told about creating a lot of time entry codes and grouping them into a single entity is known as time code group. Similarly, creating validation for certain folks, for example, or certain validation would work for worker in Illinois. All right, and grouping them together into single part would be is known as validation group. Okay, this is a new feature that came with Workday. Okay, initially it was not, but yeah, this is highly useful. Okay, you can create your time entry validation group. You can add the validations that you need to add, and you map it to your time entry template. And then what will happen? Those validation would work specifically for the folks who are eligible and who are using this time entry template. Okay, all right. Now I've done a purpose error over there. Now what happened? Sorry.
Or the field radius.
Okay. So we talked about the base part. Okay. Now what happens? What happens? Okay. How would you identify? How would you identify if a worker is having multiple period schedule, multiple work schedule calendar, and multiple time entry templates? How would you identify? You have implemented the time tracking, you have configured everything, but still the workers are not able to enter the time.
Well, if I go into the time worker time eligibility rule, I can see that the worker, whether the worker has multiple time entry templates, multiple period schedule, and all that. And they are not supposed to have multiple period schedule and all that, right? So that's how I look at it to see.
So will you be looking at each employees? Will you be looking at each employees? You have configured the time entry template for 5 countries.
Okay.
Okay, for 5 countries now. How will you do it? Then there will be manual intervention a lot of time. Correct?
Right, right.
Workday gives you three reports, standard reports.
Mm-hmm.
Three standard reports to make your life more easy. Okay, right? Audit, multi, and entire. Just like that. Okay. Audit and multi.
Okay.
Audit multiple time entry templates. Audit multiple period schedule. Audit multiple work schedule. Okay. We will open it under where we will open it in 3 different tabs. Okay. These are the standard. This is the exciting tabs. This is the Bhagavad Gita. This report should be empty. This report should be empty, else your time tracking is disturbed. Now see, now see. This report, if you are getting this report where the workers are having, they see 3 templates. She's having 3 templates. Will she able to enter the time? No.
No.
Amanda Baker. All right, first time item. This should be empty. That should be empty. Now,
Okay.
how to resolve it? Now you would be going ahead and checking the worker eligibility and make eligible and ineligible based on the requirement, which template she should be actually focused on. You would ask the requirement owner. Okay. Ben Adams. Oh my God, Ben Adams ke paas bhi this hai. This is the first thing. This report should be empty. Now,
Okay.
multiple period schedule. Oh my God, he is having multiple period schedule. He will not be able to enter the time. Ashanti
Yeah.
Singh, Ashanti ka Ashant ho gaye.
Yeah.
Dustin, no, because of the period schedule worker eligibility. Okay,
Mhm.
you will need to make those changes now. Audit worker, they will be also not be able because 2 calendars have been assigned. If these 3 reports are empty for the population you are looking at, then you are good.
Okay.
Okay, this report should be empty. Mark it. Audit multi, and there are 3 things, 3 important things. Audit worker with multiple work schedule calendar, audit worker with multiple period schedule, and audit worker with multiple time entry template.
Okay. This is good.
So now you understand. Now you got the major concept.
So how do you link the time entry code to the time entry template? Do we do that?
Time entry code never get interacts with the time entry template. We just make it default. We use time code, time calculation tags. They interact with your template.
Okay.
Instead, I told you those values which are getting projected on the top right, and they were from the time entry code itself, from your RP regular time entry codes. They were from the RP regular time entry code. and they got the those value got pop up on the screen because
Mm-hmm.
we mapped it under the totals part. Totals are basically showing your values, showing the correct values on the time entry card as well as on the background calculation. Okay,
Okay.
we map tags, not the entry code. If I remove this, it won't affect anything. If the worker is eligible for the entry code, they will automatically will be able to see those under the time entry card. Okay, that is the concept. Okay, so we covered a lot today. So what a task you would be having. First, you would you got your candidate Amanda Baker. Okay.
Yeah.
First, you need to make sure that Amanda Baker is not listed on those three reports. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You will create a separate time entry code for her, two time entry codes, and those two time entry codes would be one in and out and one hours only. Okay. A
Mm-hmm.
typical time entry template with no daily totals, only one total. Okay, one total, that is weekly totals, and you would create two labels, in and out and hours only. Two labels. Two labels means two labels over here. Okay, and two separate tags and map them over here in weekly totals. Okay.
So I'm creating daily totals and weekly totals, right?
No daily totals. Remove daily. You will not.
Just
You will.
weekly total.
Yeah, you will keep it blank. Keep this
Okay.
part as blank. Okay.
Okay.
Only weekly totals. This is your task. Okay. Amanda Baker.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. All right. Now let's.
Time tracking is very interesting, actually. I like it.
Great. So if you're using Workday mobile and Workday things, then you would always consider these factors. All right, time tracking, time off, these things should be uh, considered. All right, now if you are using time tracking for your mobile cell phones when you want to check in, check out. All right, the first thing, once if your template is configured and there the latitude and these things are configured over there under the template, latitude, location and radius, but until and unless you you haven't enabled your time tracking for your mobile checking, nothing will happen. You need to enable this first. All right, the run calculation with time of approval. Run calculation with time of approval means the moment you request the time off through Tito, yesterday I told you, Tito, time
Yeah.
entry, time off.
Yeah.
The background calculation should run automatically with the time of approve. All right, that should be checked. Defer time clock event processing. If two, three events are colliding with each other, then they shouldn't be mixing up with each other. You need to enable that. Okay, these things needs to be remembered from the whole heart. These are the things that needs to be keep in mind whenever you are using. Suppose yes, tomorrow your organization comes and tells you that, hey, Radha, please configure time tracking. You need, for the mobile users, you need to enable this first. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, uh, this is the thing that I wanted to show you. I'm actually there are a lot of mixed match with the topics. I don't go by the topic by topic, but I go by the flow by flow, concept by concept. Now we are done with the concepts. Okay, the three base are clear for us. Correct.
Right.
Now we will go to the advanced version. So if you will go to the if you have do you have that list of items which needs to be covered? We have not gone by the bookshelves itself. We have gone by the different sort of mindset. All right, we will cover everything but in a different way. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this has been enabled. Now let's understand the concept First,
So
wow.
what position display options under the time tracking? Like why do we
Huh?
have there? Position display options under the time tracking?
So a position displays options mean which position. Whenever you're using Workday mobile time tracking, okay,
Okay.
if you go to the check-in part, if you enter the time type by over there, I don't have the cell phone for Workday mobile over here. You whenever you will click over here, your position will also display at the time card over here.
Okay, okay, okay.
All right. All right. Okay. Now, how time tracking interacts with absence. Now let's understand that. I told you about payroll. Today we covered payroll. Now
Mhm.
let's cover time offs. How they interact with absence. And what is Tito and Toto? This word looks very fascinating. Tito Toto. What it is all about? Now let's understand that. This is the basic structure of time off. Okay. This is the basic structure of time of plan. Now this is the outer structure of the time of plan. We have not moved inside.
So time
Please
off,
understand.
time
Mhm.
off under absence, right?
Yeah, time of plan. Okay.
Okay.
What understand the concept? Time off is for shorter duration, absence is for longer duration.
Yeah.
FMLA is an absence. Short-term disability is an absence. Uh, After that, military leave is an absence. Furlough is an absence. Vacation is the time of plan. Okay. Sick leave is a time of plan. All right. You know the exact date when the person is coming back. But in absence, you don't know the exact date. You just need to know the estimated dates. Okay.
Okay.
All right. When whenever this is an interview question, what is the difference between time of absence? This comes every time, whenever wherever I go. Okay, this is the outer structure of the time of plan. If you get a requirement that I want to map my time of plan with the time tracking, and I want to use time tracking, I want to use my calendar time tracking calendar only to enter the time off, then what you need to go, you just need to ask the consultant which is the time of plan. They will give you the time of plan. You The moment you get it, you go to the time of section. Okay, this section, click OK. You go to the time off section and you see the time off. Okay, time off as paid leave. This is the time off. You click over here
Mm-hmm.
and then you see a snapshot over here. You click the snapshot over here. After that, you see the entry option. Here it is, the option is enter time through time tracking or time off. It is enabled for Tito as well as Toto. Okay. If you want to make it for only time tracking, you will go to the edit part. Just making it a random one. Go to the entry option. If you're only using through time of calendar, you know what is the time of calendar? You go to the related action. Sorry.
Yeah, time off calendar. Yes.
So I want to. Amit wants to take leave. Okay, he will
Mm-hmm.
go to the time and leave section and enter time off. Okay,
Right.
this is time off calendar. He will go and request leave.
Right.
Okay, he doesn't have any leaves as of now. Okay, so he's not taking any as of now. This is Toto, time off. Okay,
Time
this
of
is
time. Okay.
uh, so if you want to use your time off plan only through absence calendar, time off calendar, you need to make the entry option as time off. Okay. If you want to use it through time card, okay, under time card, you use it through time card, huh?
No, I think we only use the time off. We don't use the enter time.
Okay, you use through this calendar.
No, we don't
This
use.
okay, you use through this. So if you want to use the time off through this calendar, this time card, then you need to make here enter through time tracking. But if you are more flexible now, whether wherever you want to use, you need to make it through time tracking or time off, which means if the person has a liberty to use it through time off calendar as well as a liberty to use through time card also. Okay, it's a little confusing.
Yeah, this part is confusing. So the entry option, if I select time tracking or time off, that
Then
means
you
I can enter either time tracking or time off in the same calendar, correct?
Yeah, there are two different in the not in the same calendar. Yeah, see, there are two calendars. Okay, one is a time of calendar and one is a time card. Okay, time
Right.
of calendar, it is not a calendar, it is a card. Okay, take it as timesheet. Okay, you can
Okay.
enter through here also, as well as you can enter the time through enter time of two. Okay,
Okay.
over here also and over here. Okay, but if you make it more constrained and make it only time tracking, then you will do it through enter time mode. Okay, and you will go and enter time and you will see this calendar and you will be able to enter through here. Okay, and
So
if
you
you make
enter the time off in that time card?
yeah,
Oh,
this is Tito. Now the concept is known as Tito, time entry, time off. Time entry, time off means you're entering the time off through your time card. Toto, time off. You're going to the time off calendar. Here you will not be able to enter time. Here you will not be enter time like billing hours. You will be here. It is only made for your time offs, your
okay.
vacation, your sick. Okay, time off calendar. This is known as time off calendar, and here only you ask for your vacation. You ask for the time offs. Here you time card is here where you bill your hours. Okay, you can also ask for the time offs also here if you want to go on a vacation. Or for example, on Wednesday I want to go on a vacation. So you go
Oh,
over here, you will see the time of codes. Here you see time entry codes. You will see another option as time of codes over here. All right, Amit Patel doesn't have.
so that option is called time tracking or time off.
Yeah, if understand, mark it bold. Tito, time entry, time off. Time entry, time off. Tito,
Mhm.
time entry, time off. Mark it bold. Time entry, time off means using time entry calendar. Time entry calendar. This is time card. Using time card for your time offs.
Okay.
Time card. Time card. Toto, TOTO, time off. Only time off through time off. No hours, no worked hours, no. Cannot be entered through time off. Enter time off will come. Enter time will come. Okay.
Okay.
If you make it both and click OK, which means you can use this also. But here you won't be able to enter time. No enter time over here. Only vacation. Here
Oh,
accountability of work as well as chutti.
okay. Okay.
Got the concept?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you
It is
just
a
show the option that's in the absence page, like where you select the entry option? I just want to note it down. No, not here. The other
okay.
place where.
One second, sorry. Once you get a requirement from the customer, again understand the concept. Once you get the requirement customer that I have a Australia time of plan, I want to make it T2. Okay, want to use rather than using absence calendar, I want to use it through time of calendar. time tracking. So you will open the time of plan. You will go to the time off section.
Okay.
Click time off. Okay.
Mhm.
Subtracts from balance. You click over here. Which time off type? Then you also ask which time off also. Which time off? Time off plan and time off are different things. Okay.
Mhm.
Time off. This is a kid of time off plan. Okay. They are always inside the time off plan. You click over here. Subtracts from balance, and after that you will see snapshots over here. Click the snapshot,
Okay.
and then you see the entry option.
Okay. And we have 4 options here, or is it 3? Time tracking or time off? That is
See,
using.
yes, see option. Only three. They are not that liberal. They are Democrat. Only three.
Time off only, time tracking only, or enter through time tracking, or time off, enter through time tracking. Or, the third and fourth option seems the same.
The third and fourth options is not same. They are not same. The first
Because it
option is
to
it.
enter through time tracking or time off, and it the fourth one also reads enter through time tracking or time off, right?
Ma'am, ma'am, there is no fourth option. This is the thing that
Oh, okay,
whatever you will say.
got it. Okay,
Okay,
got it. Yeah, yeah,
got
yeah.
it. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
So today
yeah,
you learned a lot of stuff, correct? A lot of
yeah.
things. Today I guess it was a hectic informative session. A lot of things came today. Now the confusion session starts from tomorrow.
Okay.
Be prepared. Tomorrow
Okay.
we are going to start with we are going to have our overtime calculations. Tomorrow we are going to cover shift differential, overtime calculation, and we will understand holiday calculation tomorrow. After that, we will go more deeper. Okay, from tomorrow onwards, your life is going to be more complex. Okay,
Okay.
the thing that you stated, na, time tracking is more interesting. Tomorrow you will understand what is interesting and what is boring.
Okay, okay, sure. Yeah, probably the calculation I've heard that's the tough one.
That is the tough one. That is the tough one. And else after that, uh, you, after the calculation, I'll send you the paper and the small things we will cover after you complete the paper. Okay?
So is calculation the last chapter?
No, no, no. It is not the last. It is
Okay,
the core part. It will consume a lot of time. Actually,
okay,
it will consume a lot of time because uh, what I will do, calculation takes three sessions. Okay,
okay,
because in calculation we have uh, calculated fields also, we have generic calculations also, all right, and we have all of things. Okay, calculation. The other small you have gone through the base part. Okay, now go, we will deep dive into the advanced version. Okay, my planning is like that. After that, we will learn about other stuffs also, other additional stuffs also. For example, there are new features which are coming up with Workday. I'll teach you those things. Okay.
okay.
After that, I'll give you scenarios to create.
Mm-hmm.
After calculation, moreover, the work would be done by you. I'll give you tasks and
Okay,
also
okay.
some brief sections, such as what if you have missed your time card, what you will do. Are you good with reporting?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I can create a.
Okay, then be ready.
Okay, sure.
Then you will have a great time creating reports, creating alerts. Okay, we will do
Okay,
multiple jobs also. You will do project time configuration also. You will do everything. After that, my job is done.
okay,
I'm a corrupted person. I'll see and monitor what things you're doing. Okay. Generally,
okay,
workday trainings actually. The first day you asked me, na, in workday trainings, they have given 40 hours. In workday training, what happens? We also do the stuff simultaneously at that point of time. We have time for 1 hour to do the stuff.
okay,
So the sessions are going on, and also we are also doing the activities side by side. That is the
okay.
reason they take 8 hours a day. I did my workday training. So my workday training got finished in day three. Okay, day three it got finished. Okay,
Yeah.
day four was my practice session,
Mm.
practice configuration and evaluation. Okay, and integrations were taught, integration concept, the way I taught give you the demo. Those were I got those lessons. Okay, and after that, day five, that is Friday, was my exam. Okay, so Friday exam is 40 hours. Friday exam was actually 8 hours. So the entire 8 hours went on exam. Day four was practice evaluation and presentation.
Oh, okay, okay.
Evaluation and presentation was on day three. I got a homework for configuring entire time tracking, which I did. Okay, and I presented on day four. All right, day one, day two, day three, they covered the all of those things. Okay, and simultaneously all the work which were done. In every workday training they do like that.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Sounds
So,
good. I
yeah,
think
so
when
that
we
the first day, yeah, the first day you asked me, it was listed 40 hours, and I was like, it was listed 40 hours, but the training part is quite small. The rest, all those stuffs are done by you.
yeah, okay. Sure.
But absence is quite lengthy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think once I learned this one, it could be like more confusing, I think, right?
No, no,
No?
that is
Okay.
different. Absence is quite different. Absence will take a time. Absence will take time. If I'm saying absence will take a time, definitely it's going to take a time.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
All right. Please take care of yourself, and if you have any queries, please let me know on tomorrow's session. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.